And some very good news tonight for Americans who depend on Social Security benefits. For so many these days, we know it's hard to make ends meet. Well, now there is word more money is on the way. News Channel 5's Nick Barris is in the 5 Alert Center. And Nick, this is all tied to rising inflation and overall cost of living.
That's right, and it means Social Security recipients will see one of the largest COLA adjustments.
Recurring payments may be approved in Congress, and you may still qualify for a one-time direct deposit. Now, top economists are warning the American people that a recession is here as unemployment claims reach a 10-month high again. It's not right, folks, because now roughly 9 million people who didn't receive their checks never even filed a tax return this year, either because they're not required to file or because they just needed more time. But the IRS used tax returns to determine eligibility for both of these checks. The deadline to claim these missing stimulus or child tax credit money was November 17th for those using the IRS Free File tool. The Free File tool is for those who are not typically required to file taxes. If you are affected by one of the recent natural disasters, you have until February 15th to file. But if you live in an area covered by the FEMA declarations, like Kentucky or Missouri, November 15th was the last day to file. If you missed any of the deadlines above to claim your missing child tax credit payment or stimulus money, don't worry, you can still claim the credit and the money when you file your taxes. But you just won't be able to receive it this year. The final cutoff date for claiming the money will be the tax day of 2025. Now, experts recommend filing as soon as possible because it'll get you the payment faster. You can claim the credit up to $3,600 and also $1,800 per child for the 2021 stimulus credit, and this earned income tax credit, which gives relief to middle and low earning taxpayers, was also expanded in the stimulus package. But also, continuing unemployment benefit claims have risen to the highest level since February. It's a sign that the Federal Reserve's historic tightening cycle is beginning to buffet the economy. The Labor Department reported continuing claims rising again to 62,000 to 1.7 million just from a year ago. For the longest stretch of the end of the summer, new jobless claims defied expectations and remained low, despite the Federal Reserve's aggressive and historic rate hikes. Since the start of October, though, they have been above 210,000. The Fed has been aggressively jacking up interest rates to tame inflation, but the trade-off is that rising rates, slow demand, can result in a recession. Last month, the central bank, another huge 0.75 percentage point, increased again, or 75 basis point of a rate increase. So it was the fourth such increase in just 5 months, the largest increase in 4 decades. Jerome Powell has also made it clear that the Fed won't even be tightening up its inflation starts until next year. Powell has even stated that the full effects of our rapid tightening so far are yet to be felt. It makes sense to moderate the pace of our rate increases as we approach a level of restraint that will be sufficient to bring inflation down. So the time for moderating the pace of rate increases may come soon as the December meeting comes to a close. But we know, folks, for sure that President Biden must do more for the American people, and sending out stimulus payments is the only thing he has to do. So he must sign this bill into law.
Thank you all for being here, and I apologize for my back when I'm speaking to you. My mother gave me hell for doing that. But Ken, thank you for the introduction and for representing your brothers and sisters in organized labor, and who always get the job done. While they can't be here today, I want to thank Leader Schumer and Speaker Pelosi, Senators Brown, Patty Murray, Ron Wyden for their leadership in this issue as well. And I want to thank all the members that are here. Richie, it's good to see you, pal, and who leads the powerful House and Ways and Means Committee and saw this legislation and to the end and saw it through. And Tammy Baldwin, he's mildly prejudiced about your position and from that state you represent. Tina Smith, Representative Bobby Scott, Marcy Kaptur, a great friend, and Frank Marvan. Thank you all for being here. And a special thanks to Labor Secretary Marty Walsh, Teamster General President Sean O'Brien, AFL-CIO President Liz Schuler, for believing what I believe, that the middle class built America and unions built the middle class. We all know in recent years the middle class has been hit pretty hard. Unions have been under attack. We've had an economy that didn't feel like it worked enough for working people. A pandemic made things a lot worse, and that's when I signed the American Rescue Plan to provide economic relief for folks who needed it and needed it the most. Keeping tens of thousands of cops and firefighters, teachers, first responders on the job as state revenues dried up during the pandemic in all 50 states. And through the American Rescue Plan, we laid the foundation for an economy built from the bottom up and the middle out. I'm press is tired of hearing me say this, but you know, when the poor have a ladder up and the middle class are able to prosper, the wealthy do very well. Everybody benefits. Trickling down doesn't usually get down to the bottom. One of the big ways we did that was by including the Butch-Lewis Act. That shored up the pension plans for millions of union workers and represents the most significant investment in pension security.
And people laughed it off. Oh, well, is that a serious issue? Is there really a connection there? And it's only been a few short years where people are, because of the extreme nature of it and the rapidity of the time that has passed in terms of the escalation of the issue, that people are finally understanding what you all have been working on for years.
There are some proposed changes to the next fourth stimulus package that Congress is debating right now. Economists and lawmakers have said this change might financially impact millions of people. The cost of gas is surging across the U.S., but drivers shall not expect any action taken by the president. The White House is staring down a global energy crunch caused by domestic supply chains and energy commodities. Gas prices have blown past record after record in recent weeks. According to new data, the average gallon of gas in the United States hit around $4.06. Experts have told reporters that the United States has been experiencing high gas prices even before this year. After the scramble to bring down prices ahead of the midterm elections, the White House has reached out to the oil industry to inquire about reopening shuttered refineries. Experts say there is a small chance of that happening, and the Family Security Act proposed by Mitt Romney aims to cut child poverty by a third by providing most parents with monthly payments of $350 for each child under 6. It is similar to the temporary monthly payments to working families under the American Rescue. While Romney's proposal is similar to the previous program in that it will offer monthly payments to most parents, it will replace the earned income tax credit that low and middle income working parents receive.
Years and years and years. So thank you for that, and to everyone here. So as many of you know, I am a daughter of California. And as a result, many things have probably flowed from that, pardon the pun, but one of them has been, I have been my entire life acutely aware of the reality of water scarcity. I remember I was, I think 12 in middle school, about that age, 13, when we experienced an
increase the base funding schools receive by $5 billion for the upcoming year and by $10 billion in 2024 through 2025. Nearly $5 billion will be directed to universities and community colleges for deferred facilities maintenance and expansion of student housing. Another $1 billion will be earmarked for preschool programs, everybody. So, do you think that President Biden is doing all that it takes to send out the fourth stimulus check? And if you found this video useful, then tell me in the comments down below. SNAP monthly benefits, everybody, are going to be changing in a big way for millions of you guys. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer have actually agreed on a new timeline for the new social spending bill. You want to watch to the end of the video to find out how to receive the fourth stimulus check. Without further ado, Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer met to discuss the possible legislation on